I thought I knew her. I thought I could trust her with my life. She was my savior, my rock, the one person I could always count on. Until the night everything changed. It happened so suddenly, I barely had time to process it. One minute, we were laughing together, sharing secrets, planning a future, and the next, I was standing alone, the weight of betrayal crushing me from all sides. I can still remember the way she looked at me when I confronted her. The calm in her eyes, the way she tried to hold my hand as though nothing had changed. But it wasn't the same. I could feel it. Something was off. She wasn't the woman I thought she was. "You don't understand," she whispered, her voice trembling ever so slightly. I had to do it. The words hit me like a slap to the face, each one sinking deeper into my skin. What could possibly justify the pain she had caused me? I'd trusted her. She was supposed to protect me, to be the one person who would never let me down. But now, everything was falling apart. My whole world was crumbling beneath my feet, and all I could do was stand there, frozen in disbelief. Her secret wasn't just a lie. It was a betrayal so deep, so raw, that I couldn't even begin to comprehend it. How could she do this to me? How could she shatter the trust we had built over all these years? I had given her everything. My heart, my trust, my soul. I thought she felt the same way. But that night, I realized I had been living in a lie. She had been hiding something from me, something I never saw coming. And now, nothing would ever be the same again. I don't know what hurt more, the revelation of her secret, or the fact that she had been keeping it from me all this time. I thought we were inseparable, that nothing could tear us apart. But now, I was left standing in the ruins of what we once had, questioning everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and loyalty. I thought I had it all. I thought I had found the one person who would never leave me, never hurt me. But now, I couldn't escape the cold, icy grip of betrayal that had taken hold of my heart. And as I stared at her, the woman I had once loved more than anything in the world, I realized that nothing, absolutely nothing, could ever prepare me for the truth. For as long as I can remember, Emma had been my world. When I first met her, it was like the universe had perfectly aligned to bring us together. I was just a lost soul at the time, trying to get by in a city that never seemed to slow down. I had my job, a small apartment, and an even smaller circle of friends, but something always felt like it was missing. Then came Emma. She entered my life like a breath of fresh air. At first, it was just small things that made her stand out, the way she would laugh at my terrible jokes, the way she could brighten the darkest of days just by showing up with that smile of hers. But soon, I realized she wasn't just some passing acquaintance. She was the one person who made me feel alive again. We were inseparable. The kind of couple that everyone envied, or so I thought. Every moment spent together felt like a story unfolding, a journey neither of us could ever get tired of. We spent weekends exploring the city, laughing until our stomachs ached, and sharing late-night conversations about our hopes and dreams. To the outside world, we were perfect. We made it seem so easy, as though love came naturally to us. I remember when we first moved in together. It felt like a fairy tale. The apartment was small, but it didn't matter. We filled it with laughter, with late-night movie marathons, with shared meals and whispered promises. Emma was the kind of person who made everything feel like an adventure, no matter how mundane. Our first real argument? It happened over a silly thing: who would get the last slice of pizza. But even that, somehow, became a cherished memory. It wasn't about the pizza. It was about us, finding our rhythm, our balance, and making our lives work. Everyone around us seemed to notice how in tune we were. Friends would always comment on how perfect we were for each other, how our connection seemed unbreakable. I was happy. No, scratch the tie, was more than happy. I was content in a way I had never been before. I had found someone who made the chaos of life feel manageable, someone who understood me even when I couldn't put my thoughts into words. Emma wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my best friend, my confidant. She knew all my secrets, all my fears, and I, in turn, knew hers. We had built this unspoken bond, a language of our own, where a simple look or a touch was all we needed to communicate. But as perfect as things seemed on the outside, there was always something in the back of my mind, an uncomfortable feeling I couldn't quite place. It wasn't Emma's fault. She never gave me any reason to doubt her, and yet, I always had this nagging feeling that I wasn't fully seeing everything. I chalked it up to insecurity, to my own baggage from past relationships. I had been hurt before. Trust didn't come easily to me, not after everything I had been through. But with Emma, it felt different. It was different. She made me feel safe, loved, and wanted. I wanted to believe that I had found someone who would never let me down, who would stand by me no matter what. I had no reason to question that belief. Not yet. There was a tenderness in the way Emma looked at me, a depth in her eyes that I couldn't ignore. I had always known she had her own story, her own past, but she had never been one to dwell on it. We rarely talked about our individual histories, and maybe that was a mistake. After all, wasn't it our shared future that mattered more? We didn't need to talk about our pasts, I told myself. What we had was too special for that. And yet, there was always a part of Emma that felt elusive. Not in a bad way, not at all. It was as if she carried a secret that she was protecting, not out of malice, but out of love for me. She would tell me everything when the time was right, I convinced myself. Until then, I would be patient. But then, one night, everything changed. I had no idea that the Emma I knew, the one who had been there for me through thick and thin, the one I thought I could always trust, was harboring something so profound, so buried beneath her calm exterior, that it would shatter everything I believed about her. And it wasn't just a small thing. It was a betrayal of everything we had built together. I thought I was the luckiest man in the world to have found her. To have found someone who cared for me in a way no one else ever had. But now, looking back, I wonder if I had truly seen her at all. It started out like any other evening. Emma and I had been planning a quiet night in, just the two of us. We had a ritual. We would cook dinner together, argue over whose recipe was better, and then curl up on the couch to watch a movie. It was our thing. Something simple but meaningful. Something I looked forward to every week. But that night, something was different. I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but as I walked into the living room, I felt a strange unease settle in my chest. Emma was sitting on the couch, her phone in hand, scrolling through something. The TV was on, but she wasn't watching it. I could tell she was distracted. "Hey, what's going on?" I asked, trying to sound casual, even though my stomach was already churning. She looked up at me, her eyes quickly flicking away as if she had been caught in the middle of something she wasn't supposed to be doing. "Oh, nothing," she said, her voice a little too high-pitched, too rehearsed. "Just, checking some emails." I nodded, but the uneasy feeling lingered. It wasn't like Emma to act so distant, so off. Normally she would have thrown herself into the evening, eager to share her day with me, but tonight she seemed guarded. Her smile was tight, her eyes not quite meeting mine. I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was just overthinking things. Maybe it was nothing. But then, as I moved toward the kitchen to finish dinner, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. Her phone was resting on the coffee table face up, as if she had forgotten it was there. And it buzzed. It was the way the phone buzzed that caught my attention. It wasn't a normal notification. It was the sound of a message coming in, one that made my heart beat faster for reasons I couldn't explain. I should have walked away. I should have let it go. But some instinct pushed me forward. I reached down, picking up her phone, my hands trembling just slightly as I glanced at the screen. The message wasn't from anyone I knew. The name on the screen was Unfamiliar Ryan. And the message? It was short, simple, and yet it sent a cold shiver down my spine. "I miss you. I can't stop thinking about you. Are you free tonight?" My heart skipped a beat. I stared at the message, my mind racing. Ryan? Who was Ryan? And why was Emma getting messages like this? There had to be some explanation. Maybe it was a work colleague, maybe a mistake. I had to give her the benefit of the doubt. But the knot in my stomach tightened as I reread the message again. I knew I should have confronted her right then and there. I knew I should have asked who this person was, but I froze. Part of me was scared of what the truth might be. I couldn't imagine her doing something like this. Not Emma. I placed the phone back on the table, trying to act normal. But the weight of the message was like 1,000 pounds pressing down on me. I could barely concentrate on dinner, my thoughts swirling with a mix of confusion and dread. The evening went by in a blur. We ate in silence, the usual playful banter replaced with awkward pauses. Emma was acting like nothing had changed, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had. Something had shifted, and I was too scared to confront it. After dinner, I suggested we go for a walk. The air was cool, and I needed to clear my head. Maybe it was just my imagination running wild. Maybe I was being paranoid. But the message had been so intimate, so full of longing. It wasn't the kind of thing you send to just anyone. As we walked through the park, Emma was unusually quiet, her gaze focused on the path ahead, her steps a little too quick. I tried to start a conversation, but she wasn't as responsive as she usually was. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice betrayed me, tinged with concern. She glanced at me, her expression softening. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just tired." I nodded, but I didn't believe her. There was something more to it, something she wasn't saying. The walk felt endless, and by the time we made our way back to the apartment, my heart was pounding in my chest. I had to know the truth. I couldn't keep pretending like everything was fine. When we got inside, I turned to her, my voice barely above a whisper. "Emma, who's Ryan?" She froze. Her eyes widened for a brief moment, and I saw the flash of panic before she quickly masked it with a smile. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice too steady, too rehearsed. I didn't look away. I wasn't going to back down this time. "The message. I saw it. I miss you. I can't stop thinking about you." "Who is he, Emma?" For a moment, she just stared at me, her lips trembling slightly as if searching for the right words. Then, with a sigh, she shook her head, her face a mixture of guilt and fear. "It's not what you think," she said, her voice breaking. "I didn't want you to find out like this." My heart sank. "Then tell me, Emma, what is it? What's going on?" She bit her lip, her hands trembling as she reached for the couch, sitting down slowly. "It's complicated. I should have told you sooner, but I didn't know how." "Tell me," I demanded, my voice rising despite myself. She looked at me, her eyes full of regret. Ryan was someone I met a long time ago, before we got together. We were close, and things happened. But it's over. I swear to you, it's over." I stared at her, my mind reeling. The pieces of the puzzle didn't fit. The message was too recent, too full of longing. "How could you hide this from me?" I whispered, feeling the weight of her secret crushing me. "How long has this been going on, Emma?" She shook her head, her tears welling up in her eyes. "It's not like that. I promise you, I didn't mean to hurt you. I never knew how to explain it." In that moment, I realized that everything I thought I knew about Emma, the woman I loved, was built on a fragile foundation. And now, it was all coming apart, piece by piece. I couldn't stop thinking about the message. "I can miss you. I can't stop thinking about you. Are you free tonight?" Those words played over and over in my head like an endless loop. I tried to focus, to push it aside, but every time I closed my eyes, there it was again. Those words, that feeling of betrayal creeping up on me. What was I, quote, supposed to do? Confront her now? Or let it go? I could already hear the arguments in my head, the back and forth that would inevitably come. Would she deny it? Would she lie? Or worse, would she admit it and make me feel like I was the one overreacting? I had to face the truth, but I didn't want to. I kept telling myself it wasn't what I thought. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe Ryan was just a friend. Maybe they had a past, but that was all it was, a past. Right? There was no way Emma would do something like that to me. But then I saw her face, the guilt in her eyes when she realized I had read the message. Was I imagining things? Or was this the reality that had been lurking just beneath the surface all along? I sat on the couch, my hands clenched tightly into fists as I stared at her. She was sitting across from me, her eyes downcast, avoiding my gaze. Her silence was deafening. I could see her trying to hold it together, trying to make it seem like everything was fine. But I knew better. The space between us felt like a chasm. One that had opened up the moment I saw that text. It was as if a wall had been built between us, and no matter how much we talked, no matter how hard we tried to fix things, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were no longer the same. I could feel my heart racing, the weight of the situation pressing down on me. I wanted to shout, to demand answers. But I didn't. Part of me was terrified of what she might say. What if she told me the truth? What if she confessed to something even worse than what I was imagining? Could I live with that? She finally spoke, her voice trembling, barely audible. Please, just let me explain. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to hear her side, to give her the chance to make things right. But deep down, a voice in my head was telling me I already knew the answer. How could I trust her now? I don't know if I can believe you anymore, I whispered, my voice barely above a whisper, though it felt like a scream inside me. You've been hiding something from me. For how long, Emma? Her eyes welled with tears, and she quickly wiped them away, as if ashamed to cry in front of me. I never meant for this to happen. I swear, I didn't want to hurt you. It's complicated. Complicated? My mind was racing. How was this complicated? How could I ever trust her again when I didn't even know what had been going on behind my back? I tried to push the thoughts aside, to focus on what she was saying. But all I could think about was Ryan, this mystery man who seemed to be in the picture much more than she had let on. I wanted to ask more, to demand answers, but I couldn't bring myself to. I felt like I was suffocating, drowning in this whirlwind of doubt and fear. I need to know the truth, I said, my voice breaking. How long has this been going on? Have you been seeing him behind my back? She shook her head frantically, her hands trembling. No, I swear it's not like that. It was just a phase. It was before we got together. We were never really together. I felt my heart drop. Before we got together? That didn't explain the message. That didn't explain the way Ryan's words seemed to carry so much weight, so much longing. If it was just some past fling, why would he be messaging her like that now? I closed my eyes, trying to steady my breathing. Part of me wanted to run away, to just escape from the suffocating pressure of this moment. But another part of me, some deep primal part, wanted to stay, to fight, for answers. Was I imagining things? Or was this the truth? I don't know if I can handle this, I said quietly, the words feeling like a dagger to my chest. I trusted you, Emma. I thought you were everything. And now I don't know who you are anymore. She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. I never wanted you to find out like this. Please, believe me. It's over with him. It's always been about you. It always will be. I love you. I wanted to believe her. I wanted so badly to believe her. But everything inside me screamed that something wasn't right. I couldn't shake the image of her and Ryan. The way he had reached out to her. The way her face had looked when I confronted her. How could I look at her the same way again? I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. So why didn't you tell me? I asked, my voice shaking. Why keep it a secret? Why hide this from me? End quote. She paused, her expression full of regret. Because I was scared. Scared that you'd leave me if you knew. Scared that you'd think I was unworthy of your love. I could feel the weight of her words pressing down on me, and for a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. But then the other part of me, the part that couldn't forget the betrayal, the part that had been hurt by the secret she'd kept from me, fought back. I don't know if I can ever trust you again, I whispered, the pain in my chest so sharp it almost took my breath away. How do I know you're not hiding something else from me? How do I know this won't happen again? She shook her head, desperate. I swear, I'm not hiding anything else. You have to believe me. But I didn't know if I could. The damage was done. And no matter how much she begged, how many tears she shed, I couldn't shake the feeling that everything had changed. I stood there, torn between the love I still felt for her and the deep ache of betrayal that consumed me. Should I confront her fully? Should I walk away? I couldn't make up my mind. My thoughts were a storm, and no matter how hard I tried to find the calm, it eluded me. The only thing I knew for sure was this: nothing would ever be the same again. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The conversation with Emma had barely scratched the surface, and the weight of the unanswered questions loomed over me. Despite her tearful promises, the doubt gnawed at me. I couldn't just walk away and pretend everything was fine. I had to know the truth, even if it destroyed me. That morning, I decided to follow Emma. I hated myself for it. Hated the distrust in my own heart, but I had to. There was something about the way she acted yesterday that didn't sit right with me. I knew she was hiding something more, and I was determined to uncover it, no matter what. I waited until she left the apartment, her usual routine of grabbing her bag and heading out the door. I followed at a safe distance, my heart pounding in my chest, my thoughts swirling. Was she meeting Ryan? Was she seeing him behind my back? I had no plan. No real idea of what I was hoping to find. But I had to know. She walked with purpose, her eyes focused ahead, as if she had no idea I was tailing her. We moved through the busy streets, and my anxiety grew with every step. It felt like I was suffocating, trapped in this world of lies and half-truths. I just wanted answers. I needed closure. After about 20 minutes of walking, she stopped in front of a cafe. She glanced around nervously before walking inside, looking back just once as if she was checking to make sure no one was following her. That's when I saw him. Ryan. He was sitting at a corner table, his back to the door. Emma slid into the seat across from him, her posture stiff, her movements hesitant. My stomach churned as I watched them exchange a few words. Ryan leaned forward, and I could see the way he smiled at her, the way his eyes lingered a little too long. The way she responded, smiling back. Her expression softened, almost like they shared some secret that only they understood. I felt a cold wave of nausea hit me. This wasn't some casual coffee between old friends. This was something deeper, something more intimate. It was clear to me she hadn't been honest with me. Not even close. I watched as they talked for what felt like an eternity. It was clear they were in their own world, oblivious to everything around them. At one point, Ryan reached out and touched Emma's hand. It wasn't just a friendly gesture. It was possessive, familiar, too familiar. I was frozen in place, my mind spiraling. I wanted to confront them, to storm in and demand the truth, but something inside me held me back. What if they were just talking? What if I was overreacting? But deep down, I knew. I could feel it in my bones the way they were with each other, the way they smiled at each other like no one else mattered. This wasn't just friendship. This wasn't just casual. I turned away, my head spinning, my chest tight. I didn't know how long I stood there, battling with myself, fighting the urge to run back in and confront them both. But the realization was slowly sinking in. Emma had lied to me. She'd been hiding something from me this entire time, something I hadn't even considered. I couldn't breathe. I could feel the anger building inside me, a rage that consumed everything. How could she do this to me? I had trusted her. I had loved her. And now, everything felt like it was crashing down. All the pieces I had ignored, the things that didn't quite add up, were suddenly so painfully clear. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to leave. I had to get away from that cafe, from the sight of them together, before I did something I would regret. But as I turned to walk away, I heard something that stopped me in my tracks. "Emma, we need to talk," Ryan said, his voice low, urgent. I could see the tension in his posture, the way he leaned in closer, his face a mask of concern. "You can't keep hiding this from him. He's going to find out eventually." I froze. My heart skipped a beat. What did he mean? "Ryan, please." Emma's voice cracked. I couldn't see her face, but I could hear the desperation in her tone. "I don't want to hurt him. I never meant for it to go this far." My blood ran cold. Go this far? What did she mean by that? We'd been lying to him long enough, Ryan pressed. This can't continue. I felt like the ground beneath me was giving way. This wasn't just about a past fling, as Emma had tried to make me believe. This wasn't just some old connection that had been buried away. It was something much worse. There was something they were hiding, something so much bigger than I had imagined. I couldn't bear to listen any longer. I turned and walked quickly down the street, my mind reeling, my heart shattering with every step. I had thought I was prepared for the truth, but this was more than I could handle. How long had they been seeing each other behind my back? What was their relationship really? I didn't have the answers yet, but I knew one thing for sure. Whatever Emma and Ryan were hiding from me, it was about to tear everything apart. I wasn't sure I could come back from this. But one thing was certain: I couldn't keep living in the dark. I had to find out the whole truth, no matter what it cost me. I couldn't wait any longer. The weight of the truth, the tension building in my chest, it was unbearable. I had to confront Emma. I had to know exactly what was going on between her and Ryan. The lies, the hidden messages, the secret meetings, it had all led to this moment. I wasn't going to let her keep pretending that everything was okay. That evening, when I knew she would be home, I stood by the door, my heart pounding in my ears. My hands were clammy, my thoughts a storm of rage and hurt. I hadn't slept in days. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them together, Emma and Ryan. The way they had looked at each other, the way their bodies had leaned in so close, as if there was nothing between them, nothing to hide. I had to do this. I couldn't stay in the dark any longer. When Emma walked in, her usual smile faded as soon as she saw the look on my face. It was the look I had been holding back all weekend, Gore. Hurt, disbelief, and fear all rolled into one. "Is everything okay?" she asked, her voice soft, as if trying to gauge my mood. "Don't lie to me, Emma," I said, the words slipping out of my mouth before I could stop them. "I know what's been going on. I know about Ryan." Her face went pale. For a second, she stood frozen in place, her eyes wide with shock, like a deer caught in headlights. Then she quickly recovered, but her eyes betrayed her. The guilt was there, unmistakable. Her lips parted, as if she were searching for the right words. She paused, then shook her head, her voice trembling. "Please, just let me explain." "No, Emma. No more lies," I interrupted, my voice rising with the storm inside me. "I saw you with him. I heard what you said. Don't try to deny it. I followed you yesterday, and I saw the way you looked at him, the way he looked at you. We need to talk? What did that mean? What aren't you telling me?" She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Her hands trembled, her face crumpling as though the weight of everything had just come crashing down on her. I watched her struggle, waiting for her to come clean, to tell me everything, to stop trying to hide behind these walls of half-truths and fear. "You've been seeing him behind my back, haven't you?" I pressed, each word like a stab in the gut. "How long has it been going on, Emma? How many times did you lie to me?" A single tear slipped down her cheek, and I felt a pang of guilt. This was the woman I loved, the woman I thought I knew better than anyone. But the rage, the betrayal, it drowned out everything else. "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered, her voice cracking under the weight of the truth she had been hiding. "I never meant for it to go this far. I was trying to protect you." "Protect me?" I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow in the quiet room. How was lying to me protecting me? How was keeping this secret from me helping anything? "I was scared," she admitted, her eyes pleading for understanding. "Scared that you wouldn't love me anymore if you knew. I thought I could fix everything before you found out. I thought I could keep you and Ryan separate just for a little while longer. But it didn't work. And now, everything's falling apart." I could feel the weight of her words crashing over me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw everything at her, to demand answers to every question that had been bubbling under the surface. But I stood frozen, my fists clenched by my sides, my mind spinning. "So, It's true then, I said, my voice low and dangerous. You've been seeing him behind my back. All this time while I was here, thinking everything was perfect, you were with him. She nodded, her face crumpling as she started to cry openly now. I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I thought I could stop before it went too far, but I couldn't. I couldn't stop myself. I love you. But Ryan, he's always been there for me. He's always understood me in a way you couldn't. I didn't want to choose, and I thought I didn't have to. Her words cut through me like a blade. So, you were using me? Just a fallback? While you were with him all along? No! That's not what I meant, she cried out, her voice desperate. I never meant for you to feel like that. I love you, I swear. But Ryan, he was there for me when I needed someone. I was confused. Confused? I interrupted, stepping forward, the anger boiling inside me. You were playing me, Emma. You were lying to me, pretending everything was fine while you had this secret life with him. You think that's just confused? She stepped back, her face twisting with guilt. I know I've made mistakes. I can't take them back. But please, don't hate me. Please don't walk away. I was shaking with rage and hurt. I don't even know who you are anymore. Everything I thought I knew about you has been a lie. And now you're standing here begging for forgiveness after everything? The silence between us was suffocating. I could hear my heart dumping in my chest, the tension hanging heavy in the air. Her tear-filled eyes, the pleading in her voice, it was all so painful, so raw, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. Not yet.